Hello everyone, today I'm going to introduce you how to make third camera controller in a few minutes using Unity assets. As you can see, I can use this character to move around the scene and walk, jump, and run on the stairs. And just a few settings without any codes. We can build a template like this and change to different characters in a second. Later on, we can add more animations, interactions using my codes templates, and the enemies to build a complete game within a few days. Let's sit tight and enjoy the show. Now starting with a blank new scene here in the new Unity project. Inside the package manager, let's look for this asset called Fantasy Landscape. You will be able to download it from the asset store. This asset has a varieties of objects that could be quite useful. Let's download it and you will see it in the My Assets folder. Use the import button to import the assets to your project folder. We are back to the basic scene. It has basic element of directional light and main camera. Under the window menu, there is an asset store here. By clicking on this item, you will be prompted to the Unity website. Here's the store where you can purchase new assets or download some free assets. Let's look for Fantasy Landscape. Here you go, you see this asset and click on it. Click on this Add to My Assets button and open this with Unity. As you can see, there are a bunch of various plants, rocks, and houses, windmills which can build your dream towns. Awesome. Now let's import these assets from here and let's wait for downloading process, which could take a few minutes. Now we finished our download and close the window. After that, you will be able to see this fantasy environment in the folder. Under the scene folder, let's open it and you should find the scene prefabs and demo scene. The scene prefabs contains all of the town objects in the scene where you could use any of these to build your own town. To simplify the video, I'm not going to build this town myself. Actually, I had built similar one in my other tutorial. Please have a look at my other videos if you are interested. Let's open this. This is the demo scene built in this asset. I am going to use it for demonstration purpose or build a quick prototype only. Let's save as another scene name and use it for my game. Let's call it Village Scene. Now let's open our village scene. And we are good to go. Next, we are going to import another third-person controller assets. This is the most basic starter asset package developed by Unity, which is extremely helpful to build your game. Let's download this asset firstly. After the download, you will be prompted to install and restart the application. Let's do it. Alright, after the download, head back to the scene. And you should be able to see a new folder called Starter Assets being created automatically. It has basic first-person or third-person controller. Now we are looking for the third-person controller folder. Here there are some issues with the materials with pink color. Let's choose Standard in the shader setting and fix the issues. Back to the prefabs here. Let's pull this prefab called Player Armature and move it to the scene. Then also move the Player Follow Camera prefab and then Main Camera prefabs accordingly. Now we adjust the player position and assign the layer. At the start it was default. Let's define the ground layer. Let's define all of their children to be the ground layer as well. If you look at the code, you will see that there's a layer mask for checking whether the player is touching the ground or not. And assign the ground layer accordingly to the environment. Under the Player Follow Camera game object, look for the Follow option. That is the camera to follow this transform. Let's choose the Player Camera route, which is actually the player transform, and pull this to the Follow field. And we are done with the first setting. Here you go, Now your character can do all the animation sets from the animator. You can walk, run, and jump. You can move your camera freely in any direction using the mouse. This preliminary look like a game in a few minutes. In the next tutorial, I'm going to show you how to add new animations and your custom-made character instead of this robotic character. Just like this, where we can custom make my own character. Awesome! Next, we would like to animate the door opening process. Just in the download asset, look for the animations file. Inside the animations file, you will find some controllers. Let's choose door as the animator controller. Let's pull this animator controller to the anim field under the door script, and we can get access to this animator reference. If you open the animation tree, you will see a bunch of animations. You can also see there's a condition to trigger animation. Let's take a look at the door script. As you can see, we have a start function as usual to grab the anim reference. Then the built-in onTriggerEnter will output the collider. So any object with mesh collider or collider properties can trigger the door open animation. So we have anim.setBoolean with the door open animation name to be true, and door close to be false. We have also onTriggerExit. When the player is leaving, it does the opposite. The door close animation will be triggered and door open set to be false. Let's run it to have a look. I just didn't notice the template does not have any collider. Let's add mesh collider in one of the player component. Any collider is used for the collision detection. We can't trigger anything without it. Here is the collider shape. It could be a box collider or mesh collider. It's also quite useful to define a tag here. For example, we can tag this character as the player. It would be extremely useful to identify things entering into some region later. We also recognized that the box collider shape was not properly set up. Under this box collider, press this Edit Collider button. You will notice that there's a problem here. The shape is too small. It was hidden under the door collision shape, so it won't be triggered. Let's refine the shape to be much bigger. When you click on this wooden door, you will see another box collider. Notice that this collider is not a is-trigger type, so it provides the normal collision shape for this door only. Right now, let's land on the scene and try to run to the town. Yes, here you go. When I approach the door, it collides with the door's box collider and thus implement the onTriggerEnter function that triggers the animation of door open. Here is the Maxamo website. It's a cool website containing many different characters and animations. You can create a free account and sign in to download the characters. After logging in, you will see different characters here with T-Post. Today, we can choose one of the character to download, which is called Brute. We could switch to different characters in here. Let's choose one of them. For example, Maria J.J. Ong. We could have weapon on hand or without any weapon. Let's choose this one and click the download button and you are ready to go. You can see the T-Post on the right side and download the FBX files from here. Here shows different settings for the animation. On the left side, we could choose one of the animation, and as you can see in the preview, you could see how the characters with the animation. On the right side, there are a bunch of settings, for example, posture or overdrive or even the arm width. The arm width will show how width would be the arm distance in the animation. We have also the mirror and in place. Mirror can switch character in either left or right. In place will control the character animate in the same place. I just have finished downloaded some of the characters here. Let's use the Maria firstly. Let's drag and drop this FBX file into my designated folder. Under the Materials tab, there's Textures setting here. And then create a texture folder, and these texture files will be stored in this folder automatically. and create a new texture. Let's go for the rig. Under the rig tab, choose the humanoid and definition still created from this model. And finally apply to it. Now the model has done with the basic setting. Right, it's done. Let's go to the next step. Now let's work on the important part here. Under this player game object, under the geometry folder, let's delete the mesh. But before that, remember to unpack this prefab completely. And then now we can delete this mesh. Now after removal of this mesh, let's replace it with the Maria character's rig. And you are good to go. Here you see the rig is now changed to your custom character. And under this game object, you will find that there's an animator. Let's remove this component firstly. After that, select the outer game object. And in the animator component, there's an avatar here. Let's replace this with Maria's avatar. And everything looks good here. Now we have all the settings done. Let's run the game and see what happens. There you are, the character is moving exactly the same we expected. It's so great that it completely replaced the robotic character in the demo setting. Now you could replace any of the character you want or any new character you could build with Blender by yourself. Great. We also download Brute character previously. Let's do the same process and the same step. Here you go, now your character is changed to Brute with a heavy weapon. Awesome! In the next tutorial, I am going to show you how to make a new input system and apply to the mobile so that you can play this game in your mobile phone with the controllers like that. We just spend less than 15 minutes and we don't even need any code where we can create a game from scratch like this. In the future, I am going to show you how to use C# language to build interaction system, UI interface, inventory systems, and much more content to make a real game. If you want to know more, remember to give a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.